Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm taking a look at DonPachi for the Sega Saturn. Released in arcades in 1995 and on the Saturn and PlayStation in Japan only in 1996. It was published by Atlas and it was actually the first game ever developed by Cave, a company now synonymous with the shoot-'em-up genre. It's the first game in what would become a very long line of shooters, the most recent console release being published in 2013, if I'm not mistaken, and though it only got a console release in Japan, it is available for download on the PlayStation Network. There's actually a plot to DonPachi, which is something I know most people don't really care too much about when it comes to shooters, but this series has actually managed to develop its plot over the course of its many installments. In this first game, you're playing as a pilot trying to survive an 8-year-long training mission so you can join the super elite DonPachi fighter squadron. But in a weird twist, it turns out that all of the enemies you've been destroying were actually allies willing to sacrifice their lives in order to train the world's greatest pilots. Kind of a weird story and plot twist for such a simple game, but like I said, it's developed more throughout the series. The gameplay in DonPachi is pretty standard for a top-down shooter, though it was one of the first manic-style shooters, which can best be described as a precursor to the bullet hell style. It's not quite bullet hell, but it's close. You have 3 different ships to choose from, and each one has a different shot type and a different level of speed and handling. For instance, the red ship has the best handling, but also has the most narrow shot, while the blue ship has a wide spread shot, but is the slowest of the 3, and the green ship lies somewhere in the middle. Each ship also has 2 different fire modes, a weaker standard shot, and a more powerful beam that slows your movement a bit. I find it's best to use your standard shot when the screen is filled with weaker enemies, and your powerful shot against larger enemies to cut down on the time it takes to destroy them. You also have a stock of bombs that can either be used to affect everything on screen or to power your shot up to an extreme level for a short while. Between the 3 different ship types, multiple shots, and multiple uses for your bombs, there's actually quite a bit of variety in the gameplay in DonPachi. I have always found this to be one of the harder series of shooters. Of all the shooters I play, and I play quite a few, the DonPachi series always gives me the most trouble. I can get through the first couple of stages in this one with pretty much no problem, but somewhere in the middle of stage 3 is where I start to die on a regular basis. So this is one game that I certainly don't mind spamming my bombs in, but it is a direct port of an arcade game, so I guess that explains it. It was originally meant to eat up all of your spare change. After you clear 6 stages, the game starts over again, only this time it's 7 years later and you're at the end of your training. So this time around all of the stages are more difficult. You also get a score attack mode to play with, which is pretty fun. In this mode your ship is always at max power and you have infinite bombs. Just blow everything away and collect as many point bonuses as you can. Overall, I think this is a series that got better over time, but this first installment is still a really fun play. In terms of presentation, I actually find DonPachi to be pretty standard. The graphics certainly aren't bad. It's a fairly bright and colorful game with multiple scrolling layers, but the environments themselves are kind of bland. Pretty typical enemy bases and the like. The enemy designs are also pretty bland, a lot of planes, tanks, and so on. Even the bosses, which are big screen-filling battleships, typically don't have the most imaginative designs. Again, not bad, but nothing very memorable. And I'd say the same thing about the sound design. Nothing terribly impressive. The music isn't bad, same as the graphics, but again, it's nothing that stands out. This is definitely one series that got much better in the visual and audio design departments as it went along. So, on the whole, I think this is a really good game. I don't like it as much as the sequels, but I can still pick this one up for a quick play anytime, and I definitely recommend it, and the entire DonPachi series for that matter, to shooter fans who haven't already given it a try. A physical copy of DonPachi will probably run you at least $70 or so, which I think is unreasonable. But like I said, it is available on the PlayStation Network, so I just go for that. Also, the most recent addition to the series, called DonPachi Sai Daijo for the Xbox 360, can usually be found brand new for about $40, and it's region free. So by all means, whatever way you can, give the DonPachi series a try. I think you'll be glad you did.